If you follow me back to my truck, I can take you wherever you need to go. No, I don't want to get in your car. For all I know, you're a psycho-murdering freak. Ah, Morgan! Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir du Vide, and today I want to play a game called Route to Love. I had been walking for far too long. I continued walking until the buildings turned into trees and the streets transformed into roads, eventually becoming highways. It was a sweet price to pay for freedom, but the persistent ache in my feet lingered a lot longer than I would have liked. I sat down on the cold, wet dirt and breathed out a sigh. I needed to stay grounded, both figuratively and mentally. With a deliberate lift of my hand, I reached towards the earth, fingers brushing against the cool grains of dirt beneath, and began to spell my name. Oh, that's a neat way to do that. I am Espoir. Your handwriting was interesting, but it clearly read Espoir. Or it could just be a message of hope for anybody passing by. Now, what to do next? Save? Let's see, sleep by the side of the road, force myself to keep walking, lean against a tree and stay put. Well, my legs probably need a little rest, so let's lean against a tree and stay put. I'll just sit here until I can keep going. I took 3 steps backward and firmly pressed myself against a tree. My knees collapsed before I could even slide all the way down. Just a small break. The soothing symphony of nature lulled me into sleep, with the gentle rustling of leaves and the melodic songs of birds creating a relaxing ambience. I could feel myself drifting in and out of sleep. The passage of time eluded me, and I couldn't help but wonder, how long had I been there? What snapping? What was that? There it was again. It felt closer, less like the background noise of trees and wild animals, more cautious and nearer. Snapping awake, a tall man with a broad frame and orange curly hair leaned over me, his face dangerously close to mine. Ah! Hello there, why are you so close? Sir? Did you just come up on me while I was sleeping? No, then maybe you thought I was a dead body on the side of the road or something. But still, sir, why are you blushing so hard? Sir! How had a man this big managed to get this close without waking me up? A shiver traced its way down my back. Staring into the dark pools of his eyes, I noticed his unsteady and rugged breath. Sweat trickled down his forehead, and his right hand gripped my arm with firm intensity. Sir? Well, since my initial reaction was to scream, I scream. I go, ah! You couldn't help but let out a scream. This was something straight out of a horror movie. The man dropped his grip and scuttled back without a single word. His voice cracked as he spoke, his gaze firmly skewed to the ground. You didn't let him finish before you started flinging anything within reaching distance at him. Ah! Firmly grasping a rock, you chucked it at his face. A rock in the face. My. Him big. The rock hit him hard, causing him to step back. He tried to speak once more, stepping backwards. He mumbled a lengthy list of apologies, his voice deep and carrying a hardness, as if he might cry. His posture appeared broken, as if he intentionally tried to make himself as small as possible. This seemed challenging given his large size. Hey now, there's no need for... Look, I'm sorry. I thought... Did you think I was a dead body that you were just going to check? His voice trailed off as he spoke. You just look so cold. His voice hung on that last word like it hurt him. He stretched his fingers of his hands while speaking, almost as if he were recalling the sensation of your skin against his creepy gloved hands. Oh, he's kind of wearing, like, what are those, plastic gloves? Medical gloves? After putting a more than appropriate distance between you and this weirdo, you sternly began to question him. Who are you? Morgan Sue Fry. As he spoke, his voice almost trailed off into whimpers, and you noticed his body beginning to tremor as he spoke. Didn't mean to scare you. You didn't let him finish. Why are you here? He began to fumble with his belt buckle, fiddling with the edges before he took a deep breath and managed to look in your direction. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have bothered you. I wasn't sure if you were real. I was just checking. You were checking if I was real? Silence settles between the two of you before Morgan speaks up again, his face turning a noticeable shade of scarlet. I drive trucks. You're perplexed on what that has to do with anything, but you let him continue. Morgan looked at you like he was asking permission to finish. You give him a nod, and he continues. I stopped the truck to answer nature's call. When I looked to the left, I saw you. Morgan hides his face as he continues to speak. I'm sorry for staring. I just never seen someone as captivating as you. You look perfect, just so unusually beautiful, like an angel. Excuse my manners, but can I ask you a question? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Is your name Espoir? Just when you were starting to feel bad about throwing that rock, Morgan must have sensed your unease as he quickly pointed frantically to the ground. You wrote your name in the dirt. That's your name, right? Morgan began to sweat slightly as you eyed him. You decided to give him a bit of mercy this time. Yeah, I'm Espoir. He sighed in relief and smiled. This guy clearly had the social skills of a snail, but he seemed harmless. Oh. Espoir. That's a nice name, better than mine. He shuffled around uncomfortably as he looked down at the ground. Espoir. Yeah, I remember that. Look, what I've been meaning to say is, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I'm a good guy. My ma raised me right, so let me make it up to you. For scaring you and invading your personal space. If you follow me back to my truck, I can take you wherever you need to go. It's not safe on this highway, with all the what? He coughs hard, clearing his throat, and looks to the side, looking somewhat upset. Maybe we can talk about that later. So you want me to just follow you to your truck? My truck's this way. Following big cute stranger to his truck? But then again, I am kind of walking on my own, but... Morgan pointed to the side with his thumb, before awkwardly shuffling, and began to walk back to the road. Follow him to his truck, or don't follow him to his truck? Sure. What you got for me? Let's follow him to his truck. Well, that's my truck. It's not much, but it'll take us where we need to go. Morgan pats the back of the truck with his hands, almost like a car salesman, wearing a slight smile. Morgan stands there for a second, gazing at you. When he realizes he's staring, he quickly looks away. Where are my manners? Let me help you get in. Morgan leads you to the passenger side of the truck and extends his hand. Sure. Take Morgan's hand. You were a bit surprised when Morgan grabbed your hand, pulling you close, only to sweep you off your feet. Oh, Morgan. He gently placed you in the passenger seat, handling you with a surprising delicacy, as if you were made of glass. Leaning in with a gentle touch, Morgan carefully fastens your seatbelt, the satisfying click filling the air. As he finishes, a subtle blush colors his cheeks. Oh. Seatbelts, so you'll be safe. Or so that I'll be strapped in and you can do whatever you're about to do. You beam a friendly smile at him. Thank you, Morgan. Morgan's attentive care made you feel like royalty, a warm feeling settling over you. I'm just gonna run around the back and make sure everything's good before we start driving. I'll be right back. With that, Morgan gently closes the door and walks around to the rear of the truck. You look around Morgan's car and see a few interesting items. There's a blanket, a magazine, an ID card, a small picture, and some cigarettes. What's this ID card? It's the ID card of someone named Bob Muir. Muir?
Mujer.
Maybe a friend or ex-passenger. Or perhaps the original owner of this truck? Morgan! Just as you place the object back, you hear Morgan open the door with a slight grunt. Whose picture is on that? What do they look like? Do you recognize them from any missing posters? Also, what's going around? Morgan, you didn't finish your sentence. Sorry about the wait. Morgan huffs a bit, out of breath as he puts on his seatbelt and fixes his hat, looking down at you before adjusting his seat. It's okay. I don't mind your driving, so I'm more than grateful to wait. I don't know what I would have done if you didn't pick me up. Probably just keep walking. And die. You let out a trapped sigh. What you did was dangerous. You could have died from exposure or run into someone crazy. You are glad Morgan found you. Don't make me regret this decision, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. Really, you're a lifesaver. It's no problem. I'm just doing what anyone ought to do. Morgan pauses for a second before taking a breath, making direct eye contact with you before he says, It would be a crime to leave someone as gorgeous as you stranded. You couldn't help but wonder who taught Morgan all these pickup lines. You looked away just fast enough to hear Morgan chuckle. So, you said you'll take me anywhere I wanted? Morgan nods firmly with a smile. There's only one place that comes to mind. It's a small town where you've spent vacations, always enjoying the time there. It feels perfect for a fresh start. Additionally, it's the last known location of your only remaining friend. Can you drop me off at Lennyville? Lennyville. Morgan looks at you, momentarily confused and puzzled. Do you have family there? No, my friend lives there. Morgan smiles and flicks up his hat. We'll make that two of them. Lennyville is a small town. Morgan looks around your age, and there weren't many kids to play with. Why have you never seen him before? You didn't have to question for long, because Morgan provided an answer. You wouldn't have met me. My mom was strict, and the people in town never liked my folks. You pondered ways to ease this tension before finally speaking. Oh, well, I'm glad I got to meet you now. Me too, Espoir. So, how long will it take to get there? Lennyville, I mean. Maybe like 5 hours, give or take. 5 hours? I thought you said it was close. Well, it is by car. You sigh. Well, I guess it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as we get there eventually. As you sat and thought, Morgan turns on the truck and begins to drive. You sat there in silence for about 1 minute before you broke it. Morgan, why don't you tell me about yourself? Morgan fidgets under your gaze. You want to know more about me? Yep, I want to know all about my new friend. Friend? Morgan nods his head and smiles honestly. Sure, ask me anything, Espoir. Oh boy. Oh golly. Yeah, what happened to your arms, friend? I had a pet at home. She never really liked me much. Had? She got out in the cold. Didn't last long out there. It was just too cold. I'm sorry for your loss, Morgan. Thanks, Angel. Morgan winks at you. Do you have any siblings? Morgan's expression turns wistful. I had an older sister once. She's not around anymore. Went missing when I was young. They never found her. Oh. It's okay. Happened a long time ago. My ma always said she ran off with some boy and changed her name, so she's probably fine. Or at least, I'd like to think so. It's okay. Any other questions? What's your favorite color? Morgan's eyes twinkle. Blue, like the open sky on a clear day. Oh, that's a nice color. I like purple. Are you married or dating anyone? Morgan grips the wheel tight. I never had much luck with dating. I might drive this truck, but I don't get out much. Even if I did, I don't think anyone would give me much of a glance. Morgan gives his curly hair a flick. I'd give him a glance. Him big. Him sweet. You have my attention. Yeah. Morgan is giving you an impressive impression of a bright red tomato. His face is red enough to be used as a flag. Hey now, that's a strange analogy to just pop up. Or is it metaphor? I guess I do. Any more questions? So, Morgan Sue Fry. Why that name? It sounds like a pretty name. Morgan smiles sadly. He looks over at you for a second before he starts to talk. My father named me Morgan Sue Fry. Growing up, he thought I was a big crybaby. Said if I was gonna act like a girl, then I should have a girl name too. Morgan can be a guy's name, right? It was hard growing up with that name, but I managed. Anything else? How long have you been driving the trucks? Morgan's eyes light up. Been on the road for a good 10 years now. It's a lifestyle, you know? That's all? Alright. Do you smoke? Bad habit I've been trying to quit. Had this one pack for 4 months. Oh, well, that's all? Congratulations! That is a great achievement, I think. I've never smoked. How tall are you? Morgan chuckles. 6 feet something, give or take a couple inches. Him? Big! Why do you wear gloves? Morgan glances at his gloved hands and hesitates before responding. I prefer to keep them covered. As you stir, Morgan glances over from the driver's seat. Hey there, Espoir. You been out a little bit. I moved you. Thought it might make you more comfortable. Hope you don't mind. Morgan smiled shyly at you. Oh, thank you, Morgan. Did I just black out? You yawned mid-sentence, a sign that you must have dozed off for quite some time. Glancing around, you begin to realize that you're in a snug bed tucked in behind the front seat. The bed is just about big enough for you. Makes you wonder how Morgan even sleeps here when he travels. Sniffing the blankets, you catch a strong whiff of fabric softener. So they're either not used or recently used. Morgan, I better not find out that you prepared this for me. Morgan taps his finger on the wheel, his hands tightening slightly, appearing a bit nervous as he says, Hey, can I ask you a question? This friend you're meeting up with, did you tell them when you were gonna get there? Yes I did. Dude, if someone asks you if you're alone, say no, I'm not alone, I got a buddy. If someone asks, is somebody waiting for you, say yes. Truth or lie? Which one is which? Well, what's the truth? Yep, he knows I'm coming. Good. He? Oh. Who are you meeting up with? His name is George Curley? Morgan rolls his eyes in disgust. Do you know him? Morgan chuckles and grins like he heard a joke. In a small town, everyone knows the sheriff. He's a sheriff now? Wow, I didn't know that. He's the sheriff? Morgan glances at you, a bit confused. He didn't tell you? Must not be a good friend then. You pout slightly at his words, lightly shoving his arm. Hey, he's a good friend. He just gets busy. A lot. Too busy to tell you their job? I think I told you my job in the first 10 minutes. I'm definitely the better friend. You look at Morgan for a while a mischievous grin climbs onto your face. I know what's going on here. Morgan looks at you curiously. What's going on? You plop back down into your seat and grin. You're jealous. I am not. How can I be jealous of someone I can't even see without looking down? That's a good one. For someone who was stuttering a while ago, Morgan now appears much more confident, maybe even a bit cocky. You couldn't help but laugh. Morgan looks over at you and smiles. You got a good laugh. Huh? You have a good laugh. It's nice to hear. I don't know what to say. Morgan blushes and grips the wheel a little bit tighter. It's just, I haven't heard anyone laugh like that around me in a long time. It's nice. Morgan fidgets in his seat before speaking again. Are you hungry? You were having such a good time that you forgot you were hungry. Morgan didn't lie about being good company. Yeah, I could eat. Morgan looks at you and smiles. I know just the place. You give him a look. Trust me, it's on the way, and as your new best friend, it would be my honor to show you the best restaurant around here. Best friend? When did you level up? When you mentioned George Curley. You couldn't help but laugh. Well, I guess I can't say no to my new bestie. Of course you can't. It's impossible. Aw, just when we were connecting, aw. Unfortunately, this marks the conclusion of the current demo. Thanks for playing. Alright, what if I lie? What's the lie, then? After a brief pause, you chose to be honest. No, he doesn't know I'm coming. Morgan casts a cautious gaze over me, wearing a subtle frown. And to think, I believed I was special. Morgan pouts, batting their eyelashes at you. Had I known you were such a heartbreaker, I wouldn't have allowed myself to become so attached. You hadn't witnessed this side of Morgan before. They seemed happy and goofy, devoid of even a hint of nervousness. You couldn't help but play along. Morgan, baby, I promise you're the only friend for me. You even caught Morgan's eye, giving them a not-sexy, subtle wink. Morgan vibrated with laughter, offering you a genuine smile, and suddenly the truck felt light, warm, cozy, and familiar. What does he have that I don't, Angel? Morgan taunted you with his eyes. Rock hard abs. Well, hey, he's probably got squishy abs, so that's just as good. Morgan chuckled. Espoir, I have abs. But are they rock hard? Morgan looked over for a moment, staring at you intensely. Do you want to find out? Yes. You look away as your face begins to heat up. Stop teasing me, Morgan. Okay, Angel, I'll stop. Are you hungry? Yes, starved. Starved? Well, that won't do. Morgan smiles, tapping his finger on the wheel. I know just the place. Aww, he seems like a sweetheart. What if I force myself to keep walking? I need to keep moving. There's bound to be a town somewhere. I pushed my body past its limits and continued to walk. I was exhausted, but staying by a road can't be safe. Almost as if being controlled, I continued to push forward. You walk, and walk, and walk, and walk, and walk.
Get on with it! Yes, get on with it!
Until you're completely exhausted. But you're determined, and this road won't beat you. You don't need water or shelter, and you're definitely not cold, hungry, and lost. You were lost. Very lost, and with the road only getting darker, you grew worried. Would you get to town soon? How long would you have to walk? Should you call for help and hope someone hears you? Were there bears or coyotes in this forest? Or worse, rats? Not the rats, they're worse than the bears. As your brain rambled on and on about the possibilities, you failed to hear it coming. The blow landed like a sledgehammer, sending shock waves of agony through their entire being. Oh no, is it Truck-kun? I'm not ready to be isekai'd. The sensation was so intense that you barely had time to register the pain before your body was propelled through the air. Swords and princesses, here I come. When you hit the ground broken. Oh, all your matter turned into physics in seconds. I'm just broken and bruised on the ground. Am I in the place with the dragons yet? But sadly, you are still alive. What? Oh no. In the midst of this quiet darkness, a sudden, harsh screech pierced the air as a vehicle abruptly slammed on its brakes nearby. The heavy footsteps echoed on the ground, a slow and agonizing crawl that drew closer until they were right beside you. Swiftly and mercilessly, a strong grip seized your face, forcefully jerking it left and then right. Ah! Waves of pain reverberated through your skull, the relentless pressure leaving you reeling. Your weakened mind staggered, desperately searching for answers. Was it a doctor? The last thing you pondered was swiftly replaced by a jolt of searing pain coursing through your body as you were hauled up like a sack of spoiled potatoes. Oh no, I don't want to get into the truck! Is this Morgan? You put me in the truck, Morgan? You felt the movement of being carried, and then a shiver coursed through your body as your skin met the unforgiving touch of the cold metallic floor. Summoning the last shreds of my strength, I managed to gurgle out a desperate plea. Help me? The man briefly gazes at me before leaning down, gently caressing my face with soft strokes. Your plea was met with a sickening silence and left on unsettling stillness hanging in the air. You're just gonna pick me up off of the roadkill and stroke my face? It became painfully clear that the looming figure before you was no doctor, no savior. You would have been perfect. The man's fingers gently tracing the strands of your hair with an unsettling smile before his expression contorts into something sinister. The man rose gradually, his towering stature casting an ominous shadow. The sound of metal, sending a resonating clang, reverberating through the surroundings. I'm sorry. I should have been watching the road. I knew I should have picked you up when I saw you earlier. Now you're broken. Don't worry, even broken things have value. Fear coursed through your body as your vision began to blur and you fought to stay awake. I'm not 100% sure if this is Morgan, but I'm guessing it's Morgan. The man stoops down, pressing a gentle kiss upon your head, before walking over to a compact, box-shaped object that emitted a beep when he pressed it. The man crouched down, running his fingers through your hair with one hand and holding onto your face with the other. Eventually, he seized the thick chunk, wrapping it tightly around his finger. Of my hair? The man looked at you apologetically before yanking the hair clean out of your head. He snatched my wig! My wig! You took my wig! Goodbye, Angel. With that, the man walked away. As he departed, a frigid rush of air invaded whatever remained in your lungs, the cold penetrating deep into your bones. You took my hair. You endured pain in absolute darkness. As you lay there, the metal floors grew colder, and their chilling touch seemed to blister your skin. The last thing you felt was cold. You have died. Bad ending. Ice cold. Snatched my wig. How dare you? Thanks for playing. Now, a word from Morgan. Morgan? Give me back my hair, Morgan. Is it cold? Was that better than being with me? You hurt me, Angel, but I can handle the pain. I love you. Morgan! All right, what if I sleep by the side of the road? What if I just plunk down and go to sleep in this super dangerous place? Yeah, I'll just curl up right here and just go to sleep. My eyes shut faster than I would have liked, and before I knew it, I was fast asleep. The soothing symphony of nature lulled me into sleep, with the gentle rustling of leaves and the melodic songs of birds creating a relaxing ambience. Hi, how are you? I'm sleeping here and you're invading my space, sweetheart. You took a deep breath before addressing the man before you. Hello? His deep brown eyes roamed all over you, looking wildly, before quickly calming and settling beside you. In a deep southern accent, he spoke. Hi. Hi. Can you let go of my arm? He scuttled backwards as if your skin was on fire, pushing himself against the farthest tree. He breathed a deep breath before he offered a small apology. I'm sorry. His breath was uneven, seemingly caught in a small bit of panic. I thought that you were, doesn't matter. He trailed off, clutching his belt as if it were a lifeline, his gaze briefly meeting yours for a second before speaking again. You looked so cold. Morgan shuffled around slightly before continuing. I'm Morgan Fry. It's nice to meet you. I don't see new faces often. Morgan smiled at you kindly, tipping his hat lightly before firmly grabbing his belt and fiddling with it as he spoke. Why you fiddling with your belt so much? I'm sorry for scaring you. You looked a little worse for wear. Not like in a bad way or anything. He starts to flush slightly, turning his gaze away. I don't think someone like you could ever look bad. I've only seen pretty people like you in magazines. His words make a warmth spread on your cheeks. Being called cute is nothing new, but being compared to an airbrushed model is a first. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. You thought for a second before you made up your mind. I mean, he seemed nice enough, and he even apologized. I'm Espoir. It's nice to meet you too, Morgan. Morgan turned a bit red and glanced downward. I thought that was your name. See, you wrote it on the ground. Your face warms a bit as you quickly kick the ground, scattering your name. It's a tad embarrassing, realizing you wrote your name in the dirt for everyone to see. Yeah. You mentally noted not to write your name on things in the future, before a secondary thought clouded your mind. You cast a slightly confused glance at Morgan. How did you know I was there? Morgan seemed a bit apprehensive as he glances back towards the road. I was driving and I looked to the left and, well, I saw you. Morgan smiles at you with a mischievous smile as he continues to speak. Any man with eyes would stop dead in his tracks in the presence of an angel. Wink. The expression on your face must not have been impressed, because Morgan quickly rethinks his sentence. He coughs and swiftly looks away, visibly embarrassed, before mumbling and rubbing his neck as he talks. You looked hurt. I was just making sure you're okay. Well, thanks for trying to help me, Morgan, but I'm fine. I've been walking for a while. Yeah, in one ending I walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Morgan takes a deep breath and fiddles with his belt buckle. Can I give you a ride to wherever you're heading? I'm good for it. I've heard I'm good company. A great listener, even. Morgan's eyes are firmly locked to the floor as a blush cloaks over his face once again. There's plenty of space in my truck. Morgan appears extremely nervous, breaking into a sweat. He even takes out a comically small handkerchief to wipe his face before attempting to meet your gaze. You should probably answer before Morgan dies of dehydration. Oh. I want to see what happens if I don't follow him to his truck, but first I want to see like all those other questions and things I could have noticed. Hey, what happens if I don't take his hand? With one glance at Morgan, you decide it might be best not to hold his hand. Grabbing onto the frame of the truck, you pull yourself inside and put on your seatbelt without issue. Looking back, you see Morgan putting on a brand new pair of gloves. Maybe he was a germaphobe. Sorry, didn't mean to gross you. His voice trails off into unknown murmurs, but you could guess what he was saying. No, it wasn't you. I just would feel more comfortable doing it myself. Morgan perks up at you and smiles. Oh, then that's more than all right. I need to run around the back and make sure everything's good before I start driving. I'll be right back. Alright, let's snoop. Let's snoop around. Blanket. What's the blanket doing? It's a thick, hand-woven blanket with pictures of tigers, lions, and bears. Oh my. At the bottom, it says, "Be brave, Morgan." Cute. Oh. Alright, what's this magazine? What's this magazine doing? You pick up the magazine and flip through its pages. It's a magazine all about being confident in yourself, with a long list of breathing techniques. Aww. Morgan circled and underlined a few things. 100 pickup lines for a date. You think you've heard some of these. How to control your emotions. Alright. Nope, nothing to worry about there. Best ways to make friends. How to get over anxiety. 8 reasons you're lonely. Aww. It just keeps going on from there. Small picture. What's the small picture? You take a small picture from the cup holder. It's a picture of a stern-looking woman next to a maybe 9-year-old Morgan. They both look very formal, wearing black. What are these cigarettes doing here? He did say that he's kept on that pack for 4 months, so that must be really good. You honestly can't imagine seeing Morgan smoking a cigarette, but the box is half empty and well worn. Is that all of them? Yep. Can you explain this ID card, my friend? Okay, what happens if I don't follow him to his truck? You shake your head. That's enough Weird Forest men for today. No, I don't want to get in your car. I just met you. Morgan's faint smile he had been carrying immediately drops, and he turns around with a frown on his face. Is it because of me? I swear I'll take you straight to the gas station. Just give me a chance. No. A second time, no, baby. Morgan removes his hat, holding it in his hands, gently twirling the edges. Come on now. I really didn't mean to scare you. You cut him off before he has the chance to finish. I don't know you, and I'm not getting into a stranger's car. Morgan tries again to speak. I gave you my name. I'm not a... You're having none of it. Listen, baby cakes. Who the heck tries to help someone while wearing gloves anyway? For all I know, you're a psycho-murdering freak. A silence descends between the two of you before you see Morgan gaze at you with an intensity that you didn't think possible for such a shy man. Uh-oh! You catch him murmuring something, and a shiver runs down your entire body. I didn't do it. Uh-oh. What? Ah, Morgan! I didn't do it. I don't care what they say. I didn't. Morgan seems to be losing control, repeating himself over and over, trembling as if the seams of his composure were coming apart. I didn't do it. Having had enough of the unstable man, you bolted before he even had a chance to look up, running frantically down the highway. See ya. Bye. Wait! Is all you hear as you run with all the energy you can muster. I'm getting out of here. You didn't have to turn around to hear his footsteps quickly chasing after you. Wait! He was closer now, quickly gaining on you. Confront him or run into the woods? Let's keep running, cause he's really, really big, and yeah, he's fast, but he probably won't be able to maneuver that well, so if you go through the trees, maybe you can lose him a bit, I think. Run into the woods. Feeling a surge of panic, you decide to run deeper into the woods, hoping to find shelter or help. You sprint through the dense trees, the sound of your footsteps echoing in the silent night. The darkness envelops you, making it difficult to see where you're going, but fear propels you forward. As you continue to run, exhaustion sets in. Your breath becomes labored, and your body grows weary. Oh no! The cold night air bites at your skin, and you realize the gravity of your situation. With each passing moment, the temperature drops, and your energy depletes. The woods, once a source of potential salvation, become your icy tomb. Oh no, because, you shouldn't sleep on the ground, you shouldn't have anything. You should have something under you if you're gonna sleep on the ground, or else you will freeze to death. As your strength wanes, you stumble and fall. The cold ground seems to suck the remaining warmth from your body. You lie there, shivering and fatigued, as the chilling embrace of exposure takes hold. The world fades away, and the darkness claims you. You have died. Bad ending. Succumb to exposure. Dang it. And now, a word from Morgan. Don't forget about me, Espoir. I'll be waiting for you, Angel. Okay, what if I turn around and go, listen, buddy. Listen. We need to talk. You quickly turn around. You couldn't run anymore, and he would catch you if you didn't do something. Stop following me, Morgan. Nah. Morgan jogs to a stop a couple feet in front of you. I didn't do it, and I can prove it to you, if you just give me a chance. Then you'll see everyone in that town as a liar. Morgan takes another step forward, inching closer to you as he spoke. You are sick, mentally unwell, Morgan. You need to get help. This is not normal behavior. You're scaring me. Morgan, please. I just want to show you. I'm not crazy. I'm a good guy if you just let me show you. Morgan either can't hear you or isn't listening because he launches forward, quickly grabbing you by the neck.
Ah! My neck!
Shh! I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want you to listen. Everyone always runs, but no one listens. Morgan's hands clench tightly around your throat, making it nearly impossible to breathe. Morgan, you need to let go. You're hurting me. I would never hurt him. You know why? Morgan pauses, like you had the ability to answer. You nod slightly as his grip tightens, and he continues to talk. Nobody cared about little old Morgan besides her. Not the town, not my father, not even the police. That schoolteacher, only she did. Now, she was kind. She never made fun of me for crying or breaking stuff. She always said, Morgan, you're a grown boy. Of course, you're not going to know your own strength. That's something you'll have to grow into. Just try to be gentler next time, Morgan. Accidents happen. His grip on your neck tightens. You can't breathe anymore as you begin to struggle.
Morgan!
She wasn't like them, those bastards. I was just a child. I didn't mean to hurt it. Why the fluff do they even care if I killed that class bird? I just wanted to pet it and keep it from running away like the rest. Dots start to fill your vision, and your lungs burn in pain as you scratch helplessly at Morgan's gloved hands. Maybe, if you can, go for the eyes, or at least go for his neck. I know there's some weak point you're supposed to go on your attacker if they got you by the neck. Why is everything always so fragile, you know? When I first saw you, Angel, I couldn't help but think just how fragile you looked. Just how easy it would be to break you, just like that bird. But I didn't, because you smell like her. I thought you would be nice like her, but you're nothing like her. Your vision starts to go black, and your hands start to feel weak.
Morgan! Listen!
Buddy! Angel? Angel. Espoir, stop faking. This isn't funny. I didn't mean to. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not. Ending. Morgan's little accident. Morgan. Well, that was the demo for Route to Love. Well, Morgan seems like a sweet guy. He just doesn't know his own strength. That's okay. I wonder exactly what the gloves are for, because they look kind of like the surgical gloves. And also, why did you have someone else's ID card in your truck, Morgan? But we'll have to see if and when the game updates. And I'd love to know what you think in the comments, so you can leave a comment down there, and I shall read it, because it is a comment that is there, and thus I will read it. And be sure to like the video, because by liking the video, you will help my channel get to more people, and then they will see how insane I am. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.